Well, good morning, or should I say good afternoon. Oh, woe is me, woe is me. Poor Victor. I spent half the morning here in Oslo at the hospital. I hope you're feeling sorry for me. What do you mean you don't feel sorry for me? Well, you should do. Well, I'll tell you what happened. First of all, that awful boat, that awful ship, the SS Saucy Cell, or whatever it was called, the Stena Line thing that I came in, it was sheer hell. And I'm here to tell you I would never travel on it again. As I said last night, and I'm much better than last night, I'm so sorry if I was a bit mimpy, but there you are. I felt desperately tired, more tired than I've felt since I've started this trip, I might tell you. There were at least 17.5 billion people, passengers on that ship, of which 15 billion of them were children who were utterly uncontrolled, of all shapes and sizes, banging on doors. Luckily, I had a cabin to myself, but nonetheless, they still ran along the corridors and banged on each of the cabin doors. If only I'd had a machine gun. Anyway, it was a torturous journey, full of rules and regulations. The crew were charming, utterly and completely charming, and they worked very hard. And very nice food in the restaurant. And I had priority food in the restaurant and everything. At one stage, I was asked to sign some autographs, but it was, for me, it was far too rough, the journey, and I wasn't going to get involved in that. So I said no. However, it was such a traumatic journey. You couldn't even get out onto the bridge or on the outside to look at the scenery as we were coming along the Oslo fjord. It takes a long time to get from the start, where the Oslo fjord opens for the first time, and until you get actually right into the docks. In fact, it's hours and hours. So I just spent it in my cabin, trying to imagine what it looked like. I did have an outside cabin so I could see the sea, but it was a very rough crossing. Not that I mind that, but the ship was 10 stories high and I was on the 4th floor, and the restaurant was on the 8th floor. So trying to get up and down between the two was hell, especially with all the people there. Although it did, when it got very rough, they all disappeared. So it was a very traumatic journey. However, it left me feeling poorly. And your wandering traveler had a very bad time of it. I'll tell you what happened. I felt some pains on my side, and I thought, this is not right. I'm confiding in you now. Anyway, when I got up this morning, I got to the hotel. Oh, first of all, of course, getting off the ship. I'd only just got out. I had to queue to get out of the wretched docks because of the customs. But a very nice thing happened. First of all, let me tell you about that. After queuing for 20 minutes in the car to get through the customs, a very young and personable young man came up to me, and he said, and he looked at the side of the car with all the markings, everything, and he said, "Oh, what is all this?" My Norwegian accent is not perfect, I have to tell you. Anyway, he said, "What is all this?" And I told him the story. He said, "I think that is really wonderful." And he shook my hand. And I thought, well, that's very, very gallant of him. And he said, "I want to give something for it. How do I do it?" I was amazed. I thought he was going to say, "Are you carrying cigarettes? Are you carrying alcohol? Are you carrying this, that, or the other?" And I said, "Certainly not." Well, he did say that, and I said, "Certainly not." But no, he said he would like to. So he took down details of my website, and he says he's going to give some money towards it because he thinks it's a wonderful thing I'm doing. Well, wasn't that nice? But it wasn't so nice when I got just outside the sea terminal. And literally a few seconds, suddenly a police car came racing up to me and young man started to rant and rave at me. And I said, "What's the matter?" And he spoke very good English. And he said, "Do you always go over a red light?" And I said, "No, I don't." But I said, "A taxi there just pushed me past. He nearly crashed into me," I said, "and he pushed me past a red light and I couldn't help it." So he said, "You shouldn't do things like that. Do you do that in your own country?" And he went on, and it was quite ridiculous. And I said, "No, I don't do things like that in my own country, but that was a sheer accident, and I've only just arrived here, for goodness sake. I've just come out of the terminal, and I've never been to this country before, so so I thought I'd better be careful that I don't upset him too much. Anyway, it ended up, because I was up trying to find the hotel. And God, it's difficult finding your way around Oslo, especially with the trams and everything else, and the taxis whizzing in and out, and long stretch buses. Oh, but I did find my way. But he said, he looked at my driving license, but that's all he did. And he said, "You can go. Will you go past a red light again?" I said, "Of course not." And he said, "Of course not." So he said, "Now I will show you the way to your hotel." So I followed him to the hotel. Anyway, I got here, and it's a very nice little hotel. At first I thought it wasn't. And it's a budget hotel. And I thought, oh, this is going to be ghastly. But they were utterly sweet. And inside the place turns out to be really very nice. But the trouble is that there's no parking in the hotel. And it's 3 blocks away, so I had to get all the stuff out. Oh, you know, all the business, all the procedure. And I was very stressed because I had to get the stuff out of the car and into the hotel, leave it there, go off 3 blocks, walk back 3. And I was utterly exhausted by the time I got to the hotel. And that's why I was later getting in touch with you on the broadcast. However, I felt this pain going on at the side of me, so I thought, I think I'm going to have to see somebody about it in the morning. So what did I do? I went downstairs and had breakfast, and what a breakfast. Wow. It was full of beautiful delicacies that I've never seen. I'll tell you all about that when I get home or in the film. Absolutely lovely, gorgeous, lovely things. So I stuffed myself silly on the breakfast. And then I asked at reception if there was a hospital nearby, a public hospital. And they said, yes, they knew of one. So I got a taxi there. And when I got there, I cannot even begin to tell you, there were just about 4 people there. It's a extremely ultra-modern hospital. And I was a little apprehensive about what was going to happen, but they eventually showed that the girls there were, and the reception and everything else were just, I cannot tell you how magnificent they were, so charming. Norwegian people are charming, I have to tell you that. Absolutely. They're lovely, not only beautiful, but they're charming. Anyway, I was shown into the doctor's room within about 5 minutes. And he was a kind of half Norwegian, half Pakistani, which is very strange. Anyway, my friends, to cut a long story short, the diagnosis is that I have a nervous virus, and it's affected all one side of my body. It's come out in a sort of rash. And he said, if I was to leave it and not treat it immediately, within a month or so, it could become infectious, like chickenpox. Oh God, I thought, that's going to cramp my style. However, he said, no problem. He said, we can get rid of that with some antivirus tablets. So I've been put on those. And he did say I had a slight infection in the side of me, where I'm a bit prone to it, in one of my lungs. But he said it's not serious. But I do have a bit of a cough and a bit of a croaky throat sometimes. But most of that, I have to say, was caused, and I mean no offense to my lovely hosts in Denmark, but it was in Denmark and going to Denmark in the driving rain, cold, and a cold mist. And I was freezing cold there going to Denmark, from Germany to Denmark. And I felt so awful. And so it affected me. However, it's all done. I was taken back in my taxi by a man called Mohammed. He's outrageous. He said, I know a very good place to have massage tonight. She's very nice from Thailand. You like to come? I said, stop that, please. I'm British. I don't allow that sort of thing. So, and he brought me home. So when I got here, my spirits are now lifted. Now I know what the problem is, and I know that it's being tackled, and he said it will go. And here I am in Oslo. So I went out the moment I got back, and I went and looked. I wanted to go to the cathedral, but A, I can't pronounce the name of the cathedral, and B, it's impossible to try and find the entrance. I shall make another attempt this afternoon. But they do have around the cathedral a most wonderful cathedral terrace, a kind of cafe terrace where you can have lovely lunch. And did I have a lovely lunch? I filmed it all just to make your mouths water. I had a wonderful, fresh, hot salmon Caesar salad, followed by the Norwegian national cake, which is called, oh, get ready for it, Vesterberda. No, Vesterbesta. No, Vesterberda. Well, you know, it's one of those names. And it was full of nuts and hard cake and the most delicious cream, not that awful synthetic cream, but beautiful fresh cream. Oh, it was lovely. And of course, coffee. And I sat there and I had a wonderful meal. I thought I deserved that after my ailments, and I hope you're feeling sorry for me. You know, woe is me, woe is me. Anyway, I did that, and I came back quite leisurely for once to do the broadcast now. And then after this, I'm going to have a little sleep. I have to go to bed very early tonight because I have a very early call in the morning, 6 o'clock. Because I'm going to Trondheim, which is the next section of my tour. I'm gradually working my way up towards the Arctic Circle. Trondheim is the next stop on my schedule, but it takes about 7 hours to get there. Now, I have to warn you that because of that, it's not going to be possible, I think, to do my usual 2 p.m. broadcast at 2 p.m. So you'll have to watch out from 2 p.m. onwards. It's more likely to be 3 p.m. or even 3:30, something like that. Nothing I can do about it. I can't travel any faster. And if I leave here at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, well, that's 1 or 2 o'clock I arrive there. Then after I've found my way into the hotel and all that sort of thing. So you may not get it on time at 2 o'clock. And that could be the same thing for the next 2 or 3 days because I have some very long journeys ahead of me. And but I'm looking forward to the big celebration on Friday, please God, when I can let you all raise your glasses to my having arrived at my destination, my final destination on the outward journey, which is, of course, the Arctic Circle. It's very interesting. A few minutes ago, I was sitting down there having my lovely Caesar salad, and there was a chap playing a flute. And it was very nice, young, blonde-haired Norwegian playing this flute, and it was really rather wistful and rather lovely. And I thought to myself, oh, I think I'll join in. I'd like to sing and join in because I knew the number. I forget what it was, but it was really lovely. I thought I'd join in. Then I suddenly thought, no, whatever you do, don't do that because you will clear the streets. So I decided not to. Perhaps I'll just go to bed in a few moments and sing to myself. Probably that's the best. See you tonight, 7 o'clock on the dot, we hope. Until then, bye.